I've really been looking forward to this, and do you mind if I greet those of the people that we're lucky enough to spend some time here with this evening?
Please do.
Yeah. Well, I'm Vance Thompson, and I'm really honored to be here with Sharif for a very special event, and I've been really looking forward to this, and I think you're in for a major treat, something that not only you're going to enjoy, but you'll also enjoy, with regards to what can this do to help my practice journey. And Sharif, I don't know how many of you have read his book, Beyond Bedside Manner, but an amazing book. In our practice, we like to take books like that and give them to the whole team and have them read them, and we'll get together and, do breakout sessions together and learn what can we do to make our practice better. And so this evening, you're going to get a preview of something that he's dreamt of for a long time, has worked extremely hard on, called PX90. And Sharif will lead us in basically an experiential workout with some really sharing some key takeaways. Sharif is someone who gets the patient experience and leading a team so well because he does both day in and day out, but is an international expert, and so he's just learned so much over the years that he's just opening his heart and mind for all of us, and he'll discuss how we can access this program for your practices, because I know that for me, I'm very interested in this for my practice, and this will be about 45 minutes. And, we're going to talk for a little bit now just about kind of my journey and some of the influence that actually Sharif has had on me over the past couple decades. But then we'll drift into Sharif's workout. And I think it's something that's extremely important because healthcare has changed so much over the past 20 years, and patients are they're wanting more and they're expecting more. And I just know in my own journey here, I did a fellowship in refractive and cataract surgery in 1991 with Dan Dury in Kansas City in refractive surgery, John Hunkler in cataract surgery, both just wonderful at what they did and very progressive. Got me started on the research journey, actually, got involved in the beginning of PRK and LASIK and phakic IOLs, which carried on to SMILE research and trifocals and just on and on and on. 120 FDA monitored trials, a real commitment to research and advanced technology in my practice in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But I remember in the 90s just feeling like something was still missing. And it surprised me that here I was so committed to what I was doing, so committed to my team and my patients, but I felt like, why am I getting more team and patient complaints than probably a nice person should get? And why was it just not as special as some of the experiences that I, maybe had in the outside world and other businesses? And it led to a real, not only curiosity, but a desire to work on the people part of what I do. And I had the honor of working at a very early stage with a young leader by the name of Matt Jensen. And Matt became very close to Sharif too. And Sharif influenced our practice in a way that continues to this day. And so what Sharif did is, one of the things he did was introduce us to Jim Gilmore and some other experiential experts, Joe Pine, Jim and Joe, the authors of The Experience Economy, John DeJulius, the author of Secret Service, and all these wonderful things we were doing, trying to look at what some of the other businesses who really value the experience were doing to be the best they could be, and how it translated into the practice of medicine. And it was super exciting. Sharif even came through our practice as a secret shopper. I remember at first when my team found out that he was a secret shopper, and because we had a retreat built around it afterwards, they were mad at me. But Sharif was so sincere in his teachings that they loosened up, and we ended up learning a lot. But some of the things that I've learned over the past 2 decades of dedicated, study and implementation of the patient experience was that we were also kind of maybe forgetting a step when we were diving into the patient experience. It just became more and more obvious over time, and Sharif was helpful with this, that the team experience was something that really needed to happen to create a great patient experience. I actually started reading some of the great coaches books of the world. John Wooden was one of them, Coach K. But I remember John Wooden saying, you got to love your team to get the best out of them. And I remember really, really feeling this deep sense of loyalty to my team, but having the freedom to talk about love, obviously different than the love you have for your God and your family, but not just liking working with your team, getting to know and care about them enough. And it was amazing the effect it had. It led me to developing a saying with my team that the team that loves and cares for each other will create an environment where the patient feels loved and cared for. And it probably had one of the largest ripple effects of anything we've ever done in our practice, because you'd have patients coming in and to this day saying, I love how these people treat each other. I love how they treat me. I trust them to do my eye surgery, and I'm going to tell my friends. And so as you learn about going on an experiential journey, because it is a commitment, once you take this mission, and let's say this is mission possible, it's something that you will never be done with, because it's about being fascinated with the journey. It will influence what happens when people come over to your home, whether it's your family or your friends, or how you prepare. But the experience of a great team, and as a result, a patient experience, I think is the missing link between a good and a great practice. Will you be fine if you don't go on the experiential journey? You will, because there's so much need in medicine. You are going to have probably a fairly busy practice without even doing this stuff, but you're going to miss out on two big things. One is the joy of medicine, because when you really start to create an environment where your team feels so proud that you care about these things, and it translates into an environment where the patients say, I just don't know if I've ever been treated like this in a medical environment. When you start doing that, the joy of medicine goes up. And secondly, you realize that for your practice health, there's nothing better. Because I find that the future of medicine isn't third-party pay medicine. Yes, we're going to take care of the Medicare and the Medicaid patients. They're a very important part of our practice. But this idea of patients investing in their own health care, pulling out their own dollars, is something that this hybrid is what is the future of medicine for a healthy practice. And the fact that we have learned how to deliver that through teachings with people like Sharif helps us afford technologies that help patients who can't afford to help themselves. And so I think it's the future of medicine. And for me, in my practice, that started with a practice of one, as now 450 people in 6 states. I would summarize it as the most important aspect of our journey that's led to that growth. So I got to tell you, Sharif is an amazing person. The more you get to know him, if you ever get the honor of him walking into your practice, he can't help but bring value because he cares so deeply. And I am just super excited for this evening. And Sharif, thank you for everything you've done to help me and others, but thank you for putting in the work to create a roadmap, a playbook on how to go out and create a team and patient experience. Sharif?
Vance, thank you. I'm just so touched by your words. I love hearing you recap that journey from when we first met well over 20 years ago
Yeah.
and first started working together as Ray Miller, secret shopper, coming to your practice. It was an amazing time, and to have had a little part in what you've evolved to, you and this team have evolved to, is just I feel honored. I feel honored, and you and others have told me over the years in your involvement with me as clients and consulting, you need to write a book. And I did. I eventually did. And you remember you were there as part of the team when we launched it on September 9th of 2020 in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And that book has gone on to be read by a lot of people. I get great feedback. I appreciate it. And I tell them, I said, it's my love letter to doctors. And it's truly how I feel. Because my dad, pediatrician, I wanted, I want him to do better. I want him to do better. I want all doctors to do better and really get back to what you said, that joy of medicine, that joy, returning to that joy of why you became a doctor in the first place.
Right.
And it's a great example that I love to hold up about what's happened at Vance Thompson Vision. If Beyond Bedside Manner was kind of the why of patient experience, PX90 now is the how. And it is the roadmap that people have been asking for and saying, we need help, we need training. And I do training. I run a practice, as you know, and we employ a lot of the insights from the book and work on it every day. As you said, it's enjoying the journey, but we want to help a lot more practices out there. And the thinking that I've incorporated from people like Joe Pine and Jim Gilmore and John DeJulius and many others has now been put not onto a book form, but into a training course. Every other industry, we know this, right? We're all customers. Every industry has strived not only to have great service, but now to compete on the level of experience. And when we go out in the world, we see people talking about experience and the experience you'll have with us. And I just believe it should be no different in medicine. Going to the doctor doesn't need to be a poor experience. It can be a very good experience. And so tonight, I'm so pleased to share with you this program. And give me a second. I'm going to just bring this up on the screen fully. And through the magic of PowerPoint, let's see if that works. Vance, can you see the slide that's up there?
Perfect. Perfect.
Great. So what we've created in PX90 is a structured process that gives you a plan. And this here is a poster of the workout plan. There are many core benefits, 9. I'm not going to go through them all here, but this plan and this program was designed with 3 goals in mind. We want you to be in a position to have more satisfied patients, patients that love coming to your practice, that don't mind coming back and going to see you. We want to help, as Vance shared with you, the importance of having a great team. And we think having your entire team or many members of your team participate in this workout plan will improve their cohesion, will allow them to do what they do best under your leadership. And we also know that experience and patient experience isn't really about marketing. It's not about having a new slogan or logo. It's about operations. And we believe that we are providing now guidance on to have better operational efficiency in the practice. We have chosen to use this theme of fitness. And you can see here, I've just zoomed in on a couple of the benefits. Strengthen your core, reshape your practice's physical space. You'll see these words come up as a theme because some of us, we use personal trainers or we go to gyms or we do workouts, and we know that if we want to get a result, we have to put the effort in. So as the team at Goalpost Group, and I just want to give them a shout out because they've done an amazing job. There's been 8 individuals that's worked very hard over the last 3 to 4 months making this concept into a reality, they really like this idea of the workout theme. So we talk about this as a series of workouts, and all of this is available online and on demand. So it's really done to your schedule. And I can visualize you deciding that once a week you're going to gather your team in the break room, in the lunchroom, and you're going to go through a workout a week. That's a recommended pace, but you might want to take longer to do it. That's fine. And I just wanted to show you, here's a screenshot, but I want to show you on the portal right here what this actually looks like. And let me just see if I can make this a little bigger. Okay, I think hopefully that's big enough for everyone to see. But once you log in, you see all the workouts right here. At the top is a video. You're given the estimated length of the workout, the gains or the goals of each workout, and right below that is the agenda. And we use the language again, same thing that you'd use in a gym or anywhere else. We talk about, if I go to the next one, and there it is. There you can see now the goals and the goals, the agenda. Below that are, if there are any frameworks, models, things that are helpful to reinforce, we have them below hand. And you can also print out the pages for that workout, because this is meant to be something that you participate in actively as a group, can be printed out right there from the PDF file. Here is an example of what a particular workout looks like. And let's get this, in fact, let's get this into slideshow mode. There we go. You can see here, there's just a page from the playbook. And the playbook is now almost 100 pages in length. It's divided up into the 12 workouts, but you can see here that we have a model. This is from workout number 8, which is about what you do when things go wrong. We talk about service recovery, and the model in here is the service recovery paradox, which was actually discovered by Marriott 25 years ago. And then we take you through, you and your team talking about this and figuring out what you can do to set up your own service recovery plan in your practice. That's part of resonating with patients and what they need. These are just some things from the workbook. You see that every workout has a warm-up, has a series of exercises. You'll have a cool down. And Vance, you're laughing because you probably remember this from your personal trainer, bringing these same things in. We always have a warm-up first, and we end with a cool down. We have initial reps, we have bonus reps, and we have a coach's corner. And I'm privileged to be the coach of PX90. And this one at the end is about different ways to handle your fees. When patients are challenging or questioning your fees, you don't need to react defensively. We give you a plan for that. But I thought now we'd just take a few minutes, and I'll ask those of you who are on, just have a piece of paper and a pen or pencil handy, and you might just jot some thoughts down. I'll walk you through this, but this is an introductory workout. In the warm-up, I would ask some questions, and I do this on the video, and for people who aren't here tonight, and I say, hey, think about your own experience as a customer, and when was the last time or a recent time you had a really great experience as a customer? What made it great? If you jot that down, you probably have one that's come to mind. Now let's flip that. What's been a really bad or maybe the worst customer experience you had, and what made it so awful? And Vance, I'll tell you, as people are thinking about it, Renee, my wife, and I were up in Seattle last weekend. We had a great time at the Hyatt Hotel up there and went and saw a football game. Unfortunately, our team lost, but it was a great time. But at the time of checkout, I was asking some questions and let them know that, hey, you'd want to know the room wasn't cleaned. And boy, I got lectured at by the front desk person. They didn't say, I'm sorry, what can we do? It was like, he told me why, I was wrong. And it was just a weird experience, and it was not good. And that's what we tend to remember, right? Experience is good or bad. So let's continue. When was the last time you wrote a review? And more importantly, why did you write a review? So with that, if you've jotted some notes down, I want you to think about your practice. And those of you who are from industry, maybe think about a practice that you are friendly with, that you spend time with. And we'd ask you to rate your practice on these 7 dimensions. It's just a checkbox, or just write the word poor, or 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever works for you. But, how would you rate the ease of scheduling an appointment in your practice? Is it outstanding, or is it poor, or somewhere in between? How would you rate your reception area? What about your team and their morale and their interactions with one another? The physical environment, the space that you walk into every day, how would you rate it? What about the patient's interactions with doctors? follow-up. How well does the practice follow up with patients? And the overall experience, what rating would you give it? Now, we ask that last question of every patient that walks into Laser Eye Center of Silicon Valley after their consultation. They get a text, and we ask them to tell us about their experience. And you know what's amazing? About half, they get a text, and it's just, how would you rate your experience 1 to 10? And we get that rating, and then after they put in their rating 8 or 9 or 2 if they didn't like it, it says, why'd you rate it that way? And we get a lot of great feedback that helps us improve. But this was your rating. This was your rating. So in the stretch, I need to share with you what the research says. Now, the CEOs, 30 CEOs of 30 different companies were asked to rate their customer service. And 80% of those 30 CEOs said, our customer service is excellent. It's excellent, off the charts. Then they asked 3,000 customers of those same 30 companies what they thought, and only 8% rated it as excellent. So we have a gap. And Vance, I know that you are on a time thing and you need to leave, but I wanted to say this is what we were talking about earlier as we were getting ready, that gap between what we think and what our patients think. Now, your journey has been closing that gap over many, many years now, 20 plus years, 25 years, closing that gap. But sometimes we get blind to it. So I'm going to pause there, Vance, because I know you wanted to say goodbye, and I wanted to let you go. Thank you.
No, I really appreciate it, Sharif. This is absolutely amazing, this roadmap. And you're dead on right that we got to close that gap. And we do have to be honest. And that's why, looking at our data and having a framework like this that leads to that data, not only understand what our staff thinks of our experience, but what our patients think of our experience. And then the CEOs can know where they need to act and react. And so bravo and congratulations on the release of PX90. I'm really proud of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Please enjoy your date this evening, and I will talk to you soon. And I'll
Thank you, Sharif. See you, buddy.
Bye-bye. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So here's this gap. And the reason we have this gap, one reason is we tend to wear a single pair of glasses. And I'm thinking proverbially or not literally. Some of us like me have had refractive surgery. We don't need glasses, but we tend to put on maybe that blue pair of glasses, that sturdy pair of glasses, and we walk in through our doors every day and we see what we see and we have a practice. And the problem is our patients often walk in and they see something different. And if we want to understand what our patients are seeing and experience, we need to change our lens. We need to look through the lens of patient experience. And that's represented by the red pair of glasses over there. We need to put on this other pair of glasses because if we do, this can be extremely valuable to us to figure out what are the things that in our practice that we need to change in order to reduce that gap. So that if we think it's excellent, our team and our customers, our patients, also rate it as excellent. We want them to be equal and we want them to be up high. We don't want them to be, we think it's poor and they think it's poor. No, we want to think we're great. And we want our customers, our patients to think it's great as well. So I'd ask you again, we're going to do the same ratings, except now I want you to think about it wearing those red glasses. Think about this from your patient's perspective and ask yourself, well, how would our patients rate the ease of scheduling an appointment? What would they see? What would they say when they walk in and they see the reception area? How would they rate it, their initial impression? What would their perspective or perception be of the team, the employee, the morale? Because we know when we walk into a store or a place of business, a restaurant, a hotel, you can kind of tell the vibe. And if the employees are happy and they're doing well, you can feel that. And if they're grumpy, and I've walked into many medical practices where you can tell there's tension, you feel that too as a customer. So what about your employee morale? What about the physical environment? Is it poor, good, great, or outstanding? How would your patients rate interactions with doctors? And hopefully many of you are doing those surveys and finding out. How would your patients rate your practice's follow-up? And how would they rate that overall experience? And my prediction is that I'm going to go back one. My prediction is that there is a difference for most of us And in all the practices I've been in, I've always found a gap. I've never found someone they say A+, you don't have any work to do. You can go home early. There's always something to do. And as Vance Thompson just said, this journey never ends once you're on it. It is something that is really infectious. It really makes you say, wow, what can we do differently? It changes how you go about the world as a consumer, and you do your own shopping and your own interactions with businesses, and you start to think, what can I pull into my practice? This whole course is about doing that very, very quickly, very, very rapidly. Now, after the exercise, we tend to do a cool down, and here are the questions that we would go through. And in the interest of time, I'm just going to share with you the questions. You can get access to this workout anytime on the PX Movement website. But then I go, let's continue thinking. Now let's look at you're going to doctor. When you go to the doctor's office, have you ever had a positive experience, and what made it that way? And what are the things that so often get in the way that make us dread going to the doctor? We should list those out. If you've ever written a review of a doctor or their practice after a medical appointment, what was it that triggered you to do so? And then going back to the more consumer world, what brands, what experiences, what companies do you really enjoy interacting with? And what is it you like about them? What is it that makes you loyal and want to go back and spend more of your time and your money with that particular business? And lastly, I think this is the big question for teams to talk about is how good of shape is your practice in experientially? Because we talk about, hey, we're in great shape financially, or we've got really good clinical protocols, but how good are we experientially? That's really the last question in this workout. And so as we transition out of this, I now want to introduce the program to you and what's included in this program. There are 13 workouts. There's an introductory workout and an onboarding, and then 12 different workouts that we didn't talk about tonight. Every workout, as I showed you, has a video, has exercises, has tips or examples of things that you can use as jumping off points. Say, oh, okay, I get that one. Now, what would we do? You get lifetime access to this program. This is not done in a vacuum where you've got to do it in a certain amount of time. You have it forever. So new employees, we'll give them a password. Up to 10 members of your team. We'll give them a login credential. They can go in and go through the same program. There's a poster you'll get, actually a physical poster, large, like you saw on that first slide, to put up on a wall somewhere so that you can have reminders. You're going to get a copy of Beyond Bedside Manner. And if you want to get multiple copies for your team or referring doctors, yes, we have a bulk order program available for people who are enrolled in PX90. The playbook now, which is just about 100 pages, you're going to have that digitally, but you're also going to get it physically, a physical hard copy. And that playbook, week by week, workout by workout, as you're filling in things for your practice, you're now developing your action plan to move forward with. And we're also included in this because we believe that coaching is important. There are going to be 3 group coaching sessions that are recorded. They're for members only. So if you want to come on live, you should, because then you can ask questions and interact. But if you can't, you'll be able to access that information later. Now, there's another step up, upgrade to this program called PX90 Plus. It's everything that I just walked through with one addition. I will do a personal private coaching with you for 90 minutes in addition. We can do that anytime, in the middle, in the beginning, in the end, wherever you want. That does not have an expiration date, but you'll have one-on-one with me, and we will be able to dive deeper into what's going on inside your practice. Here's a summary of the different levels. PX90, that program is $2,500. PX90 Plus is $3,500. And then we have something called PX90 Max. I am available on a limited basis to go out to your practice and spend a day with you. So it's everything involved in PX90 and PX90 Plus, including now 3 personal coaching sessions that we do via Zoom, just like this. But I'll spend a day at your practice as well. And I only have the availability to do 2 of those per quarter, and 1 for the first quarter of next year has already been spoken for. So if that's something of interest to you, you can always upgrade and do that later on. But what we're going to do, because you came and you attended and you're part of this, and you've been part of my insights at work now, the newsletter that I do and receiving that, we're going to upgrade you to PX90 Plus for no additional charge. So we're going to include that 90-minute private coaching session for $2,500. And later after Monday, it will be $3,500. And, you know, as we get more experience with this, I believe that the cost of this program will likely go up over time. But we're doing this because in this first launch, this pre-order, we want feedback. We want you as the first customers to tell us. And that's why I'm willing to do this in these coaching sessions we do. And, you know, I'll probably do more than 3, quite honestly, probably more than 3 coaching sessions as we get into this, but I want feedback. Our team wants feedback because we want to make this even better as this thing rolls out to a much larger group starting at the beginning of next year. We believe this is applicable to every medical specialty, as well as dentists, chiropractors, anyone that's in the healing profession can benefit from this. Any place that we go to get healthcare can be improved by that practice using this. I also just feel very comfortable saying that I guarantee this. If you do the workouts and you don't see the value in the first 30 days, I'm going to refund your money. I don't have a problem with that. I don't want people to just get this and not do it. I want them to really get involved. I encourage you in that first bullet point, assign a champion right away. If you're the doctor listening to this, assign a champion who's going to make sure that you get the team together. You may decide you want to go through this on your own first and then bring the team in, but you're going to need to sign up by Monday, October 14th, end of the day, in order to get this special offer. And signing up is easy. You just go to pxmovement.com. There's a get the program button that you can't mix. You select PX90 Plus. I'm highlighting it with my cursor. It's $3,500. And then you put in this code, Founders24, you apply it, and boom, it takes off that amount, and it's $2,500. We just take credit cards now. We're doing this over the next few days between now and Monday night. And then next week, we will provide access to everyone who signed up. That's the online access. And then several weeks later, as we get the playbooks printed and the posters printed and all the packages mailed out, you'll get a package as well. So that is the program, and that is the offer, and that is my way of saying, first of all, thank you for being here tonight. I'm just really, truly touched that you would spend your time and your evening with me. And I just close with this statement. And this is one that has really influenced how I think about patient experience, how I think about customer experience. And it comes from the poet Maya Angelou. I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And I think there's just so much truth in that. And I think about how we interact with each other on a human level. And again, going to the doctor can be a good experience. And I'm not talking about the recommendation, I'm talking about everything else that surrounds it. And PX90 is all about helping us understand just what is needed in today's environment to be able to make the experience better. And so with that, I just want to say good night. I want to say thank you very much.